Hello students, welcome to Uma Devi Children Academy students. Students, last time we are discuss about the topic is the properties of the physical properties of the metal. How metal exhibit in the malleable, ductility, sonorous, lustrous, conductivity, all the things we are discussed. Right. Today topic is that is the physical properties of the non-metals. Students, one thing you keep in your mind, the what are the physical properties there. This is which is opposite to the physical properties of the metal, because what are the physical property exhibited by the metal, that opposite property existing in the non-metals. So students, the non-metals are property opposite to the metal. Non-metals are non-malleable in nature, non-metals are non-ductility in nature, non-metals are do not conduct heat and electricity, non-metals are non-lustrous, non-metals are non-sonorous, non-metals are low melting point and boiling point, non-metals are soft, and non-metals are not so strong. So these are we will discuss one by one, students. Let's see here. So first one is the non-metals are non-malleability. So non-metals are hammered. What are the non-metals are there, students? What are the non-metals like the sulfur, phosphorus, right? Sulfur, phosphorus, and some other things, the plastics, etc. When you beaten with hammer, when you use the sulfur component and you beaten with hammer, if you are the beaten with the hammer, what happens, students? It turns into powder. It turns into it break into small pieces. It break into small pieces, students. So it means it is cannot holding the malleable property. It cannot holding the malleable property. It cannot turns into the thin sheet. It cannot turns into thin sheet. Rather than it turns into small pieces. Right, students? So why this happens, students? Why this happens? Because whenever you using the non-metals, when you are beaten with the hammer, then what happens, students? What happens? What are the non-metal in which the particles are there? For example, you may use the non-metal is the sulfur. The sulfur atom is there here, right? Like this sulfur. So whatever sulfur is there here, the sulfur when you hammered, then the whatever the bond is there, the bonds are going to be break down. When bonds are break down means they are turns into the small pieces here. They turns into the small pieces. So that's why they cannot holding the malleable nature. That cannot turns into thin sheet. Right, students? Okay. Non-metals are non-ductile. The if you are using the small piece of the non-metals, you are again the hammered. It cannot be stretched like a wire. It cannot be stretched like a wire. It cannot be stretched like a copper wire. It cannot be stretched like the aluminum wire, right, students? Or silver wire. It cannot be stretched like this. So that's why it is considered as a non-ductility. When you try to stretch, they are going to be break down. So that's why it is cannot hold in the ductility property. Right, students? Okay. We are trying to stretch, then it will be break down due to the weak bonding. Weak bonding is responsible for the non-malleability and non-ductility. Right, students? Okay. Non-metals do not conduct heat and electricity. Non-metal which is the non-metal in which the absence of free electrons. The non-metal which contain electrons, but the free electrons, the electrons are cannot be travel from one end to another end. So that's why it cannot allow the heat and electricity. Non-metals are non-lustrous in nature. The metal surface or dull appearance or non-lustrous in nature. What are the metals are there? The metal when you rub with the aqua regia, or when you rub with the the petrol, or you may rub with the rub with the any the petroleum, then what happens, students? It cannot exhibit the shining. It cannot exhibiting shining, because this is the nature of that one. Nature of that, it cannot exhibiting shiny nature. But the non-metal iodine, iodine only the substance which exhibiting the lustrous in nature. It's very important, students. The non-metal iodine which exhibiting the lustrous nature. Except of iodine, no one exhibiting the lustrous nature. Yes, students. Okay, non-metals are non-sonorous. When you use the two non-metals, when you struck with each other, hit with one another, then it cannot produce any kind of the ringing sound. Cannot produce any kind of ringing sound, because the in metal the ringing sound produced because of the delocalization of electron. When the metals are struck with one another, their electrons are delocalized from one place to another place. Due to that reason, it exhibiting the ringing sound. But here the electrons are remains in the fixed position, so they cannot exhibiting the ringing sound. So non-metals are low melting point and low boiling point. What are the non-metals are there? The non-metal limits already discussed. That due to the weak bonding is present between the sulfur or between the phosphorus, the weak bonding exists here. Weak bonding. So due to the weak bonding, they are having the they are melt at very low temperature, and they are boil at very low temperature. But diamond diamond is a strong and hard in nature. Diamond is one of the species. The bonding is very strong here, but the bonding is very strong and very hard in nature. So but students, the diamond is one of the exceptional case. In this case, the diamond which is a strong bonding exists, so that's why the diamond which having the very high melting point and high boiling point as compared to the other non-metals. Right, students? And the non-metals are very soft, right? The solid non-metals are the except of diamond. All the non-metals are very soft in nature. Right, students? Soft in nature. So non-metals are not so strong, but the non-metals are due to the weak bonding is present and the low strength. So they are it is not so strong and break easily. Yes, students, and break easily. But diamond is a species which is the hard and rigid. Is the diamond is only one is the hard rigid non-metals, and remaining are the very soft in nature. So next is chemical property, students. Here chemical property are three types we are discussing: reaction with oxygen or air, reaction with water, reaction with dilute acids. Yes, students. So reaction with metal with oxygen or air. Metal react with oxygen to form metal oxide. So metal oxide is the basic in nature, because when it dipped in red litmus paper, the metal oxide solution in which you dip the red litmus paper, it turns into blue. That's why it is basic in nature. Example, students: sodium metal react with the oxygen to form sodium oxide. The sodium here react with oxygen to form sodium oxide, Na2O. Reaction is completely balanced, students. 4 sodium, 2 to the 4 sodium, 2 oxygen, and this is 2 oxygen. Right, students? Okay. So the sodium react with oxygen to form the sodium oxide here, and here the lithium, sodium, potassium metals are kept into the kerosenes. Why? Because they are react vigorously with oxygen and exhibiting the fire. These are more reactive toward the oxygen. Why the fire exhibiting? Because when sodium is there, when any chemical species, I will tell you the reason. When any chemical species, now for example I am using here the A, react with B, during in which the both chemical species must be release energy. When they release energy, they give the new product, right? They must be release energy. But here the sodium, but here the sodium, when it try to react with oxygen, sodium which is absorb the energy from atmosphere along with the oxygen, it absorb the energy, right? It's the nature, it is its nature. Sodium metal which absorb the energy rather than releasing, so that's why they are exhibiting, that's why the during in which the friction occurs, that's why they exhibit fire. Yes, students. Okay, the sodium oxide react with water to form sodium hydroxide. What are the species are there? Metallic species which producing the, which are dissolved in water, called as a alkali. What are the metal which is dissolved in water, called as alkali? Right, students? Okay. Sodium Na2O react with water to form NaOH. The that is we call it as sodium hydroxide. Potassium oxide react with water to form potassium hydroxide, students. So here the we are using the K2O, K2O, K2O react with the water H2O to form, sorry students, once I tell you, I'm using here K2O react with the H2O to form how many potassium? 2 potassium, that's why I'm using here 2 potassium. And how many oxygen? 1, 2. This is the common, the 2 is common for both. And how many hydrogen? 2, that is the hydrogen is right H, 2 KH. So reaction is completely balanced here, students. Understood, students? Okay. Next, students, the magnesium. The sodium, potassium both are easily react with water and easily react with the oxygens. But magnesium, which is do not easily react with oxygen, because the whatever the magnesium is there, the magnesium metal is there, the magnesium metal in which magnesium atoms are present. This is a magnesium metal in which magnesium atoms are present. So this magnesium between them, the bonding is so strong here, bonding is strong, so that's why it cannot easily react with the oxygens, right? It cannot easily react with oxygen. If it react with oxygen, what we have to do? We have to apply some heat. On heating, magnesium react with oxygen to form magnesium oxide, students. It forms magnesium oxide when heating. When we heat, then what happens, students? When we try to heat, then magnesium or between them bonding get breakdown, and both are separated here as a magnesium plus magnesium, both are separated here. So on heating magnesium ribbon with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. Right, students? Okay, next, students, the magnesium oxide dissolved in water to form magnesium hydroxide. Look at here the magnesium, students. Magnesium oxide react with the H2O. H2O. So, okay, tell me, students. Magnesium. Why I am writing this reaction like this, students? Because magnesium valency 2, students. Already we have discussed. It means magnesium have a ability to react with the 2 species. So magnesium, these oxygens are again move towards this H2O, then it turns into 2OH. So that's why we have to write this reaction. The magnesium react with the H2O to form MgOH2. Now check the student. One magnesium. How many hydrogen here? 2. The 2 outside the bracket, it means 2 hydrogens are here. Students, how many oxygens? Here magnesium oxide which contain 1 oxygen, and this is the 2 oxygens are there here. So this is the 2 oxygens. Students, so the 2 oxygen, 2 hydrogens are there here. So reaction is completely balanced. Right? Okay, look at this. Aluminum oxide react with the HCl to form aluminum chloride and water. Right. So here the aluminum oxide I am using here Al2O3. You may write like this, friends. React with the 6HCl. Right? Okay, tell me, students, what is the valency of aluminum? Valency of aluminum is 3. It means one aluminum react with the 3 species. Here how many aluminums are there? 2 aluminum. It means one aluminum react with the 3 chlorine, 2 aluminum react with the 6 chlorine. So that's why I am using here 6, students. Right? So reaction is 2AlCl3 plus 3H2O, students. 3H2O. Right? Okay, aluminum oxide react with the base NaOH to form sodium aluminate. Al2O3 NaOH to form 2Na2Al O3. Like this, friends. Aluminum oxide Al2O3 react with the 2NaOH, which is turns into, students, 2Na2. Okay, I will write here, friends. 2Na2Al O2, like this. 2Na2Al O2, students, and plus H2O. In this form, you may write in your notebook, students. It means here the aluminum reacting with the base. NaOH is the base to form sodium aluminate. Sodium aluminate. So tell me, look at here, students. Aluminum oxide reacting with the acid here to form salt and water. Aluminum reacting with the base to form salt and water. It means aluminum reacting with the both acid as well as base. Right, students? Similarly, zinc metal burn with oxygen to form zinc oxide. Look at here, students. 2Zn react with oxygen to form ZnO. It means 2 is taken as a common here. Zinc oxide react with HCl to form zinc chloride plus water. Zinc oxide react with the 2HCl. Why am I here using 2? Because zinc valence is 2 here. So it reacting with the 2 chlorines to form ZnCl2 plus H2O. Look at here, 1 Zn, 1 Zn. How many chlorines? 2. Here also 2. How many hydrogen? 2. 2 hydrogen here. Oxygen 1, oxygen 1. Right, students? So this is the reaction is completely balanced here. Right, students? Next is, students, look at here. Zinc oxide react with the HCl to form zinc chloride plus H2. Already we have discussed here. So zinc oxide react with the base sodium hydroxide. Zinc oxide react with NaOH. Look at here, students. Small reaction is, that is Na2 ZnO2 plus H2O. So 2 sodium here, the 2 sodium. Zn1, Zn1. Oxygen here 1, here 1, 2, 2. And H2O, 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. 1 oxygen from here. Sorry. Total 3 oxygen, 1 here and 2 is here. So 3 oxygen, 2, 1, 2 here, 1 is here. So 3 oxygen. Right, students? So whole reaction is balanced here. Right, students? It means the zinc also reacting with the acid as well as base. Here also form salt water, here also form salt water. That's why the aluminum, it is also called as a amphoteric nature, and this is also called as a amphoteric nature. Right, students? I hope you understood the today topic, friends. Thank you.